Hi guys, Erin here at Queen Bee Tarot with a little bit more of an in-detail explanation of what the heck happened last week. So, we had that full moon on Monday, and sometimes I like to give you guys a heads up that there's some big astrology coming up, so prepare yourselves, right? And other times it's much better, in my opinion, to wait until it's happened and talk a little bit about why it happened and how we can maybe debrief, think about, all the things that were at play and how can I grow from this, right? The reason I would rather do that afterwards for a situation like last week is because the energy was so subtle that it would have been hard for me to prepare you. It's better to just talk about it afterwards. So, the energy was subtle in a sense that if you were paying attention, you may have noticed that there were opportunities that your ego bounced off of somebody else and came flying back at you with the opportunity to see, to look at myself and go, oh, wow, I kind of behaved like an idiot there. And in that moment, we have a choice point. We can either choose to acknowledge, yes, I behaved like an idiot. I'm going to take this humbly and I'm going to work on whatever it was that I did. Or the other part of that choice point is, no way, I don't behave like an idiot. It's the other person who had a problem. I'm going to keep being me. And so one of those is a path of self-betterment, and the other one is of satisfying that ego that really never wants to feel uncomfortable or wrong ever. We all have both inside. And throughout our lives, we're going to be given tons of choice points to explore. Are we going to be humble in this moment, or are we going to double down? So this full moon provided some challenges, some opportunities, some interactions with the people around you. And what was going to happen, the title of my last video was Break Down or Break Through. So in these challenges, in these opportunities of reflection, you could either have a breakdown, double down with that ego, and quite possibly have some sort of blowout with somebody, or you could take the opportunity to reflect on your part in the situation. How did I co-create this? If I didn't like the way that somebody interacted with me, or perhaps didn't include me when I wanted to be included, what was it that I was putting off in my subconscious signals, or perhaps in my words, that told that person ahead of time, I didn't, want to be part of this, or whatever, or this is how I let myself be treated. There's a huge part of what we put out into the universe subconsciously, and then all of a sudden we act surprised that it came back to us. So the theme of last week was, are you noticing? Are you noticing your part in this? Are you having breakdowns, or are you having breakthroughs? And so Venus was nearing the end of Gemini. And anytime a planet kind of hits those last degrees of a sign, it's like rushing through those lessons. It's like rushing to integrate all that we've learned throughout that last sign and kind of put it into our library for future use. So Venus was finishing up in Gemini, and in Gemini, which is a chatty air sign, Venus was lighthearted. Venus was having fun, getting out there and doing stuff. And Venus just moved into Cancer on Friday. And what that means is that Venus's lightheartedness started to feel really deeply about stuff. So as Venus transits through Cancer, we're going to notice that we have much more deep feelings. We might feel more attached to the people around us, and if for any reason they don't give us the attention that we're hoping for, we might feel super, super rejected in a way that's maybe not typical of how we feel or how we behave. So let's watch those easily hurt feelings in the next little while as Venus transits Cancer. The other thing that happened during the past week is that Mars was in the exact same spot in the sky as Lilith. And Lilith is all about our independent streak, where we go, you can't put me in a box, or you can't tell me what to do. And having that in the exact same spot as Mars is really interesting, because Mars is how we direct our will and our ego out into the world. So it's quite possible during the last week, if we felt triggered, if our egos felt bruised, that we had a whole, I'm out of here kind of moment, right? Whereas it's possible that ultimately for our soul's development, it would have been better to sit tight and figure stuff out. But we're never going to figure stuff out if we're always pushing our energy. This week was a huge lesson in listening. What is the universe reflecting back to me right now? What is my circle of friends reflecting back to me right now? It's not necessarily that they're trying to insult me or disclude me or, any of these other things. Sorry, exclude, not disclude. It's not necessarily that people have malicious intents. It's a matter of I am seeing the reflection of what I have put out there. And if I don't like it, it's up to me to change it. So we have to remember that all change is going to start from within before we see it outwards. Now, we had a really challenging aspect at one point during the week of Mercury square Saturn. And so that was a matter of, well, what I think is not being reflected in what I'm achieving. And there's a sense of impatience. Like, well, how come I'm not making this happen? Or how come since I decided I wanted to feel better inside, I'm not feeling better inside? Well, change takes time. And so what I wanted to offer you guys as a little bit of a way to close out this week and prepare for next week is a little exercise. And what I've put together is this little piece of paper, and it's something that I did for myself recently, and I thought I'd offer it out there because if it helped me, maybe it'll help somebody else. So ultimately, our perception of everything that happens out there in the world is going to be a reflection of our core beliefs about ourselves. And if we want to change our lives, we have to examine those core beliefs and realize, okay, is this true? Is this not true? That sort of thing. And so when we talk about core beliefs, we are saying things like, I am. So for example, I am so chatty that sometimes I interrupt people. And therefore, one of my biggest lessons is to let somebody else finish talking before I jump in with my thought or my idea. So, but in that, I can also say, I am a really good listener. And when I listen, I'm super perceptive. So here's what I'd love for you guys to do. Make a little list. Start at the top, big letters, I am. And then start writing, I am da-da-da, I am da-da-da. And what I'd ask you to do is phrase everything in a positive way. So you are reinforcing positive stuff about yourself. And then therefore, if something negative comes up, check it, work on it. Let's not hide it. Let's not run from our challenges. Let's work on them, because if we really want to be better people, we have to be humble about the ways in which we're failing. So we're all human. We all have challenges. And this is a great time to kind of reassess what our challenges are and what we need to work on. Why? Well, we've got some heavy astrology coming up, you guys. And if you are acting from a place of unconscious ego, you are going to nosedive as things get tough in the next week. So this is a little bit of practice, a little bit of, hey, let's get started in the, testing the waters, so to say. I'd love to help you get through this, because if you are pursuing a path of ego, I'm warning everybody, the next little bit is going to get really hard, basically until the beginning of next year. So the sooner we get down to business, the sooner the better, and we'll all feel better about ourselves. So, yes, I'm going to close this one out, and I am going to talk about next week's astrology in my next video. So this is Erin here at Queen Bee Tarot, sending my love, sending my hope that you guys are making it through okay. Like and follow for more videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.